Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 Honda Odyssey minivan, and here's the remote for the van. Not too difficult to figure out. You've got lock, unlock. You can open both power side doors. You've got remote start. You can open the power rear lift gate, and of course a panic button right there. So as we stand back here and look at the 2021 Odyssey, there are some minor refreshes on the exterior, and some of that is here. It's with the grille, it's with the front end right here with the headlights and everything. If you look at that carefully, it looks a lot like a Honda Accord now. Basically, Honda's idea with this was to make it more sporty, and I'll put all the trim levels on the screen for you with their base prices so you kind of know where you might wind up depending on your situation. Another thing to make this a little more sporty, as funny as that might sound, that's what Honda's idea was, just to give it a more sporty looking exterior. The rims are now meant to look more sporty, and there are some minor changes to the tail lights as well. If I can get some pictures to kind of show you what's going on there, I will. Not a lot of major changes there. There's also some minor changes to the interior, and of course you have a lot of safety features. I will list all of those on the screen for you as I go about the process of opening the hood. And this little minivan featuring a 6-cylinder engine makes 280 horsepower, and I will put all the particulars on the screen as to horsepower, torque, gas mileage, and it has a 10-speed automatic transmission, of course, and you actually do have shifter paddles. And I apologize, there's a few raindrops there. Trying to beat the rain today to make this video for you. Now, you do have, like I said, power doors here. These are automatic doors on the driver and passenger side, and here are a few things about what you'll find right here. First of all, this is how you're going to get into the rear seats. So all you've got to do is pull on that. It allows to move that forward, and then you can hop in back here, and hopefully there's enough light to see everything back here. You've got a volume control here, a headphone jack right there, let's get that right, and a 12-volt power outlet. Couple of cup holders, small amount of storage, and of course an air conditioning vent. And basically the same thing on this side with one exception. Instead of the 12-volt power outlet, you've got a USB port. Tell me if you'd like to see a USB port on both sides, guys. And since I'm in a good place to do it, you do have a screen here that allows your rear seat passengers, middle and rear seat passengers to watch movies if they wish to. We'll put that back up. Now let me get out real quick here and show you a few more things about what's on the side of the seat here. Of course, you've got the lever right here. You can use that to put the seat back down, and you can also use this one. Hopefully you're able to see a good view of that on my head mount there, to move the seat forward. Now it will actually fold forward more than that if I didn't have my driver's seat so far back. And of course those do recline as well. Step back to give you a view of that. If your middle seat and even your rear seat passengers want to recline back a little bit, they can do that. But here's what I really want to show you. Of course, everybody has their own air conditioning vent. You've got a vent here, button for opening and or closing these side doors. A couple of cup holders here, and even though you can't see them down here, there's a USB port and two USB ports and an HDMI port. And why would you need that? Well, that's for using the DVD player. Here are some headphones. You got a couple of sets of headphones here that come with this vehicle, and the remote for the DVD player. I'm going to watch that. Of course, with those air conditioning vents not only in the very rear, but here in the middle seats as well, here is the panel that you use to control those. And here's something that's very interesting. Of course, if you fold this down, you can pull on this little latch right here. You can fold that down. And I can also move this headrest back. Little storage right there. Actually, I have 3 cup holders, 2 different, looks like a couple of different sizes here. But here's the real interesting thing. See this little, hopefully you can see that on the screen right there. If you pull up on that, you can move this seat up. But here's what you actually can do. It's not just to move it up and out of the way. You can actually pick it up and put it outside. And why would you want to do that? One of the very interesting traits or features of this van. That's what this is for right here. If you pull up on this latch right here, then you can move the seats. They have a track they can slide back and forth on, and the seat on the passenger side, or the driver's side here, and the passenger side move the same way. So you can move those back and forth. And I will tell you, this seat right here, it's a little bit on the heavy side, but not horribly. I do a good bit of weightlifting, so maybe I'm at a disadvantage or an unfair advantage to some people, but it's not that hard to put back in, guys. You're just going to put it on that front track right there and basically just let it fall down and lock into place, and you're set. Now, you do have a couple of different ways to close these doors, including pulling on the side handle right there. So we'll take a look at the back here. Of course, you've got the wiper, the antenna on the top up there for satellite. This is, of course, the Elite version of the Odyssey, and you have several different ways you can open this door. But that's why you've got this right here, because it has a motion sensor underneath, and that's instructions for how to use that. Let's see if I did that correctly, which no, I didn't that time. One more time. There we go. And as we move into the rear here, the first thing I want to show you real quick, there is a 12-volt power outlet right there. And a lot of storage right here. That's kind of what I would call a multitasker, because what it ultimately allows you to do is when you're not using it for its true intended purpose, you can actually store whatever will fit right there. Quite a few things actually would fit there, whether it's groceries or whatever. But these are the stowing magic seats, and that's why you have the instructions right here. This is what you do. You're going to take this little cord right here, pull on that, and these seats are going to go down. Let's see if I can do that in one move this time. Sometimes it's a little harder to do when you're not used to it, which I am not. So let's try that one more time. And now what we've done is maximized our cargo space. And you can, of course, reconfigure those center seats, remember, to make that work for you even more. And I'll put all the numbers on the screen as to what you have as far as your cargo space goes, and even towing capacity. And of course, you have the onboard vacuum system here. Got a couple of different attachments for that. I will show you those, of course, just the typical attachments you would use. Now, here's the interesting thing. Let me do this. We're gonna try and move up here. You can actually move all the way. I'm gonna show you real quick as best as I can, because I didn't leave that middle seat out. You can actually move all the way to the front with this, and it will actually reach the floor. I don't have the middle seat out, so I can't really show you as well. Well, let's see if I can do this. Kind of a balancing act, but you can see you can actually get to the floor with that. In fact, it'll go all the way to the corner of the windshield right there. So the hose is more than capable of doing what you need it to do. And let's see if I can let you hear. I think I have to turn the ignition on for that. Now you can hear that's actually pretty stout. It's still revving up. It's not hurting for power by any means. And then you just kind of work the hose back in to its little area where you stow it away right here. It's just a very easy thing to use. And of course, when it comes to putting the seats back up, it's very easy. That's what this little handle right here is for. You're just going to take that, and as you're doing that, grab this little strap right here, and then you can pull on that and set the seats back in place. And again, just like those middle seats, these seats also recline, as you can see right there. I moved that all the way back into its reclining position just so you could see that. And of course, you also have the button here to automatically lower that, and you can use all of the features I showed you earlier for closing that power rear lift gate. So let's hop inside here into the front. Go ahead and start the engine. And of course you have everything you would expect here. You do have power folding side view mirrors. That's what this button right here is for, so I will fold the mirrors in. So whatever your situation is, if you need the space that allows you, whether it's in your garage or whatever the case may be, you have that. And of course you can control the, let's see if we can turn those off. I had that on earlier because it's been raining. Of course you can control or reposition, I should say, the side view mirrors right here. You've got the button for the left and the right sides. Seat memory, you can open the side doors right here, and you have several other features here as well. Electronic parking brake even, which is kind of down here at an angle, almost hidden away, but that is where that is. You have a manually adjustable steering wheel. It's adjustable tilt and telescopically. Steering wheel mounted controls, all that good stuff, everything you would expect. And over here is how you control your headlights. So they're not automatic headlights, but that's not a big deal. You have everything there. Of course, you've got the blinker there. And let's see if we can get that off. There we go. And of course, the steering wheel mounted controls on both sides here, everything pretty self-explanatory. On the left-hand side, of course, you can go through a lot of different information here on the dashboard. Everything very easy to use. I cannot get that to go off, but it's okay. Push button start. You've got a push button shifter here as well. You've got cooled and heated seats for the driver and passenger, as you can see there. So nice feature there. You can turn the auto stop start feature off if you want to. That is something I like to turn off, just personal preference. You have different driving modes, actually 4 different driving modes. You've got drive, and then you have the S right there. So when you put it in gear, right now it's in drive, that's why you've got the D there, and then the sport, that's why it has the S right there. And then we'll go back into park. And of course you've got snow and econ mode. Very simple, very easy to use. And of course, Honda's super simple to use infotainment screen. Very, very easy to use, but here's something you might not know about. If you want to move one of these icons around, and I'm not going to go into great detail about what all is here because it's just super simple, but let's just say you wanted to move one around. Here's what you're going to do. Whoops, let's see. We don't need to do that. Let's go back one more time. We'll try it with phone. You can actually move the icons around. All I'm doing is just held that down with my finger and just let go of it wherever you want to change that, and then you can hit done when you are finished. And if you want to see all of the apps, to just scroll through all of that, that's how you do it. Hit all apps down there. You've got everything that you need, and you even have cabin watch right here. And that is what looked like a camera right back there where the screen is, where you can watch the movies and all that good stuff. A lot of very interesting little features here. That way, if the driver or passenger up here, mom or dad, whoever, wants to keep an eye on what's going on back there, then you can actually do that. Very interesting. If you want to know what the kids are doing, or if you have teenagers and you want to know if they're up to something mischievous, well, you can do that. Push button start, dual zone climate control. You can sync those two together if you want to, or they can be adjusted individually. And you have some space down here. This is where you put the DVD in, your disc. And I'll try and get a picture for you of what's down here. You've got a couple of USB ports, and let's see, you've got USB ports, you've got a power outlet, and a 12 volt as well. A couple of cup holders right here. And okay guys, we're going to do a quick little test drive here with the Odyssey. And if you watched my last Odyssey video, I had a little fun launching that one, just seeing what it would do. It and actually chirp the tires. This is a front wheel drive vehicle, and so I may try that again later on just for the fun of it. But we're just cruising along here and just going to enjoy the driving experience. And you know, I'm in here all alone, so I don't know what I can tell you about how it would ride and drive with a full load of people and or cargo. With as much cargo space as you have, you're definitely not limited on what you can haul around. I mean, you don't have the openness of a bed on a truck, but you do have a lot of space back there that is honestly somewhat similar to what a truck would be like. And it's quite an experience to be able to know that with a minivan it's that versatile. Acceleration is good. I'm not really trying to accelerate real hard right here, but I know from previous experiences with these Odysseys that the acceleration is very good. And if you need to get into high-speed traffic, such as on the interstate and the speed limit's maybe 70 or 75 miles an hour, you're not going to have any trouble. I have my arm down on the armrest, and I don't want to look down there right now since I'm driving, but I'm going to change lanes real fast here, and you do, of course, have the blind spot monitoring and all that good stuff. But my arm is down on the armrest, and those are adjustable depending on what your situation is and where you want that to be. You just kind of move it up just a little, just a little bit, and it will kind of snap into place, so to speak. And ultimately, really, this minivan is actually very easy and very enjoyable to drive. You know, there was a time many years ago when we didn't have all of the sensors and everything to help park and blind spot monitoring and rear view cameras, I should say. I'm not a rear view traffic camera. I almost slipped and said the wrong thing there. Now that Honda sensing is standard on these Odyssey minivans, no matter which trim level you choose to purchase, you know you're going to have all of those great features and just all the versatility. The one thing, if I was going to change anything, and it's probably, I'm not a design engineer, so I don't necessarily know how this would or wouldn't work, but I would love to see all three rear seats come out. But I'm sure since they slide on the track as they do, that's not as easy to make happen. So I do like the fact that the brake pedal it's a little bit soft to the touch until you push it down about halfway, then you start to feel some pressure. But even at that, the brake pedal, when you're pushing down on it, you're still going to feel that the Odyssey is doing what it needs to do to slow down. It's not a problem, it's just kind of the way the brake pedal acts. And I don't know that many people would even think about such a thing, but I thought I'd just share that since that's an observation here. And the turning radius is actually not terrible with this minivan. Of course, it's not going to be that like that of a sports car or some of these smaller SUVs. Anyway, guys, I really enjoy driving these Odysseys. They're a lot of fun to drive. It's not something I need for myself because, well, I'm not married and I don't have a family. But, you know, you could use this as a work van if you wanted to. You could move the seats forward, move the seats, tilt the seats forward, move the middle seat out. And of course, you can use the stowing magic rear seats to increase your space back there. That's where it would be helpful if all three of those seats came out in the center row. But they don't, not necessarily a big deal, just something that I think if that was possible, it would work really well. It could have some additional versatility. At least you don't have to use all three of those seats at one time to pull the whole thing out. I know in Odysseys of generations gone by, you could do that, but it definitely wasn't as easy as what we have today. Don't forget, guys, when my channel hits 25,000 subscribers, one of you is going to win a gift card for $250 to Amazon. And we're going to continue to forward that continue that forward into the future with every milestone. So at 25,000, we get $250 to a subscriber. $500 for 50,000. Guys, when I hit 1 million subscribers, I'm going to honor my word on how this works. So we will give away a $10,000 gift card. I don't know that we can do that, but we'll see. We might just have to give away multiple gift cards. But hold me to that. It is up to all of you to make that happen. I appreciate my friends at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this Odyssey for the day, and all of you for taking the time to watch. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.